Speaking of video games, and a whole collection of video games.
True. The first season, or batch of episodes, I guess, of Secret Level from Amazon Prime just came out. It's an animated anthology series created by the same people behind Love, Death, and Robots. Yes, with I think some other animation studios involved, but like it's the same. It's primarily Blur, with a massive voice cast. I'm not even going to read off all the names.
A lot of big names, though.
Very big. Keanu Reeves obviously is the top of that list, but that's because he actually plays video games. So I'm just going to read through the list of series that are in this, and I guess we can hit on the ones we want to, because there are, I believe, 15 episodes. They're kind of shorts. They're all between like 10 and 15 minutes. So we have Armored Core, Concord, rest in peace, I guess. Crossfire, Dungeons and Dragons, which isn't really a video game, but okay. Exodus, Honor of Kings, Mega Man, New World Eternum, Outer Worlds 2, Pac-Man, fucking Sifu, Spelunky, Unreal Tournament, and of course the classic Warhammer 40k.
You said Mega Man, weird.
Mega Man.
There you go. Dungeons and Dragons was the first episode, and it was a very good episode. But like you said, the whole time I was thinking, like, why is it D&D though, and not like Dragon Age or Elder Scrolls or Baldur's Gate, which is Baldur's Gate is literally the D&D property.
True. That is very odd. It was pretty fucking cool though. It was a good opener for sure. The whole time I'm like, there is no like D&D the video game. It is Baldur's Gate, so that's kind of odd. Concord was announced very far before the series came out, because Concord the game got shut down like a week after it started.
I think it was 2 weeks.
okay, fair enough. I actually really liked that episode, and it does make me kind of sad the game crashed and burned. I thought it was pretty charming. It's not that deep, but like it was just fun, silly shenanigans. I really liked the art style. I thought it looked pretty good without trying. It was a really close approach to what it looked like Concord looked like. I didn't get to play it for the 2 weeks it was active because I'm not a sucker. But it also didn't feel like it was leaning too hard into its Overwatch DNA, so to speak. So that was pretty cool.
I felt that it actually leaned into Guardians of the Galaxy a whole lot more than anything else, which is fine, but it was just like I waffled back and forth watching that episode, because I was like, oh wow, this is Guardians of the Galaxy, but also it was pretty good.
I love waffles. Spelunky was a weird one for me, because I played that game like fucking 10 years ago, and I keep forgetting it exists, but every time I go through my like own digital games, I think I got it free with gold like 10 years ago, so it was free, and I'm like, oh, this is one of those procedurally generated thingamajiggies, and I suck ass at it, and I can never get more than like the first 2 levels, but yet every once in a blue moon I'll still download it and try it again. I still suck. Right. And I thought that
go ahead.
I thought that the I guess it did what it was supposed to, because it like sparked interest in the game, which is seemingly what this is. These are not all exclusively PlayStation franchises, but they're definitely leaning in that direction, I guess. In addition to, they just had a short 4 PlayStation properties, but like
I did not like that one at all. I'm like, wow, it's a really long commercial.
Yeah, it was a bit odd, but I don't know. The rest of them kind of seem to lean in that direction. I can't explain that because there's no way to statistically prove it, but I don't care. Eat my ass. But Honor
of Kings, I had to look up. There were a bunch in here that I never heard of. Honor of Kings. It's a
MOBA.
I think it's an MMO, but whatever. It's a Tencent giant corporation bullshit game that I've never heard of, that is apparently huge. But also Crossfire has a very interesting history. I'd never heard of that one, but I did some research, and it is huge outside of the US, like huge, but it directly competed with Counter-Strike. They both came out at like the same week, and then Counter-Strike took over America, and then Crossfire took over the rest of the world. It's really weird.
Did you end up playing Sifu yet? That one, I own it. I still haven't gotten to it yet.
I played a demo or like the first level and was like, wow, this is hard and not for me.
That's
no,
fair.
thank you. I just wasn't in the mood.
That's fair. I really like that short because the game already has a really cool visual style to it, for me anyways. I think I might actually end up reviewing that this season. I think the consistent thing I have for almost all these episodes is, it made me want to go play a game. And that's right. Like kind of the point. It feels a little cheap in that sense, like it's supposed to, I don't know. They're meant to be advertisements, especially Pac-Man, which I'm going to leave for the end because there's more about that. But that was... Yeah, that one is something else. So I thought that was pretty cool.
I really enjoyed Unreal Tournament, but this series, if I had one criticism, the series went really hard on like generic military shooters. Yeah. Unreal was memorable because it was like a sci-fi, I guess, or steampunk cyber, I don't know. It had its own weird flavors. It wasn't just four dudes in drab green sitting in a van. But I liked that one, and one that we can both unpack because I'm sure we both loved very much was Warhammer. Yeah,
Warhammer I think is easily the best one in this. It's kind of cheating because Warhammer has always had A, really good cinematics, and B, really good animated films. But yeah, holy fuck.
My favorite scene in all of that is the crew walking through, pitch dark, and they're shooting bad guys, and the bad guy's blood, as it like spills out, is helping to illuminate the room. It's such a cool concept.
So fucking cool. It was interesting enough that Colin, our buddy and fellow podcast host for our other podcast, had already watched this one before us.
3 times on release day.
Yeah, he doesn't even play, like, I think he's gonna play Space Marine 2. He's not a Warhammer guy. He exclusively watches the animated shorts and stuff. But we're like, dude, this is really cool. And he's like, beat you to it, fuck you.
Yep.
It's like, what the fuck?
I knew he would.
I thought he could, but I didn't think it would be that fast anyways. I figured it would be more of what we...
Go ahead.
I figured it would be more of the usual, hey, you should like this. Hey, you should like this. And he's like, no. And then he watches it and he's like, that's the coolest fucking thing ever. And we're like, told you. And he's like, you didn't say anything. I discovered this on my own.
Outer Worlds was pretty cool. It definitely carried a lot of the themes from the game, and I appreciated that. It's very bleak, but it has this offsetting humor with it. It's very good. I agree.
I guess the end of my thoughts is actually Pac-Man. So Pac-Man is fucking weird. One, nobody knew, as far as I can tell, that this was going to be like a part of this up until right before release of the first batch. So Pac-Man's expanding their franchise, and this is actually like canonically part of the next game. It's really weird. I didn't know this until right afterwards because I saw it and I was like, oh, this is really cool because they're boiling down the concept of Pac-Man being eat or be eaten and like turning it into like a sci-fi horror setting, which I thought was really fucking cool. For one, like the short itself was phenomenal. Like fantastic animation, really good lighting stuff. Surprisingly full of tension for being 10 minutes long. Gore the God Butcher looking ass. But also I went and looked it up. Right now I'm on the secret level Wikipedia page. I'm going to click on, so we have Pac-Man Shadow Labyrinth. is an upcoming action-adventure video game developed by Bandai Namco Studios and published by them. Part of the Pac-Man franchise and a continuation of this secret level episode. It is set to be released next year. It is going to be a 2D action-adventure Metroidvania. They want to expand the game into like less family-friendly categories. This is so fucking weird, and I love it. Like using this really as like a proper backdoor pilot, not just an ad itself, but like, hey, do people fuck with this? Because we're doing it.
I like it better now knowing that, because originally I was like, oh, someone's just trying to make Pac-Man like grim and dark and edgy, and I don't like it. But if they're actually doing something with it, it's cool. It's
so odd. Yeah, so under the development, it says they went back to the original concepts for the first Pac-Man game and boil it down to the maze, the eat, and how the table can flip all of a sudden. Using that basis, the team began creating Shadow Labyrinth. This would have been like 2 or 3 years, 2020. The game's development team is joined by the producers of the Tekken series, and it's being developed in Unity. Super fucking weird. I genuinely like the standout, not necessarily because it's the best one. I think Warhammer was, but I think we all knew that was going to happen anyways. Just super out of left field, and like unlike, I guess, Concord, which was supposed to be an ad for an upcoming game, RIP, this is just like, oh, hey, you like that? Turns out we're doing a whole thing. And like, it's not gonna look like that. Obviously, it's a 2D side scroller, but trying to sell you on like the concept is really cool.
The thing with Concord is that it was already supposed to be out for 2 months. So it feels like a cinematic for like season 2 of the game or something. Like, hey, you like what you already have? Here's more of it. It's like, that's cringe. This should be an introduction to a video game of like, hey, this looks cool. I'm going to go play the game.
I agree. Speaking also of Secret Level, from Deadline.com, Amazon Prime has renewed its freshman animated series Secret Level for a second season. It's from Amazon, MGM Studios, and Blur Studio. Secret Level is the adult animated anthology series featuring original stories beginning the popular video. Yeah, we're getting more. There you go.
Yep.
I don't actually want to move on from this. What other like series do you think would be a good fit for this? Based on like the vibe they've already set, they could do anything. But what would you pick instead of like me sitting over here like, oh, give me a Halo short, like
right? I'm very angry that we got cheated out of the God of War one. He had like 3 seconds of I'm gonna slam the ground and make icicles, and I was expecting a whole ass episode, and that episode had Kevin Hart in it. Big stinky.
True. I do agree with that.
A Doom episode would be cool. Make it M-rated and just chainsaws everywhere.
That would be great, especially because we do have the new game coming up. I think it's the end of next year, so they would probably be able to get it released in time as well. That was the top of my list. was Doom, just because it fits in with the it's all gory and shit.
I honestly would rather they focus on making longer episodes. I would take like 25-ish minutes of like a really cool story in a video game and just give me, I don't know, 6 of them. I would like that a lot better than 10 minutes out of whack or 12 minutes, because almost every episode, if I was having fun, which was most of them, was like, oh, it's over. Like, that was barely anything.
Yeah. Again, just kind of leaning in with the PlayStation vibe, I was thinking that they could probably use them as like an intermediary for their current like large series they're not on hiatus, but the next release isn't going to be out for a while. Like, it sounds lame to just do all of the story-based Sony games, but we know that Last of Us is going to be getting a 3rd game in the next couple of years. Uncharted has been cooking for ages whenever they get around to that. I think that at least one of those would probably be good. I would probably say Uncharted, because Last of Us is already getting enough attention, because they keep fucking re-releasing it. Oh my God,
Banjo-Kazooie would be so fun.
That would be great. I do think maybe doing like an entire batch based around more like
retro.
Not forgotten, but yeah, but not just like retro, like let's do a Mario episode, but like the retro characters that everybody is still familiar with, but are stuck in limbo. So you have your Banjo-Kazooie, fucking
Spyro.
like yeah, all of those were like they've been around kind of, but only in like advertisements and Smash skins. Like I think that would be pretty cool. And then make them M-rated and gory.
Only some of them. I mean, you can still have your kid-friendly ones.
I suppose, but Conker's already edgy, so like,
right.
I don't know, just have the squirrel nut everywhere.